What's up, guys? Joe Troyer here. If you guys can see me, you can see my screen. Let me know in the chat. That would be great. I see myself. Looks like my desk's a little off center or something. Let's see if we can fix that without making you guys too nauseous there in the chat. There we go. All right. Let's see. Welcome, everybody. What's up, Scott Lindsay? Just saw you join the mastermind, man. Excited to have you, brother. Let's get you posting inside of the community. Hit me up in our thread, and we'll get our one-on-one discussion going. Welcome officially, Brian. Good to see you, Brian, man. Hope all is well. Been a really long time. Chris Ulrich, Dennis Barricos, seeing some new faces as well. Eric Dupree, what's up, Eric? JP, Jamie, Jason, Miguel, Roger, what's up, Roger? Stephen Lai, LAI. Did I pronounce that right, Stephen? Welcome either way. Tom, welcome. All right, guys, so I got a little bit of housekeeping, a little bit of notes to run through today, and then we'll jump in officially into the AMA session. What's up from Quebec? Welcome, Eric. Hope you're not too cold in Quebec. Might have to have you come down to our event so you can thaw out for a change. So a little housekeeping before we officially get into the AMA for today. Next week's AMA, just a little bit of an announcement on next week's AMA. I need to fix my slides, huh? Let's see here. There we go. Next week, the AMA is all about my top 5 or top 6 takeaways from being at Funnel Hacking Live. So we just got back over the weekend. It was a great event. Lots of takeaways. It was a really good event. 5,000 plus people. The speakers were really good. The last day, unfortunately, was a bit of a pitch fest, but the rest of the event was really great. So it was 3 days, 2 days of like amazing content, like no pitch whatsoever. Lots of good people doing amazing things, giving great content. So I'll be sharing with you guys next week officially my top takeaways. I've been playing catch up since we got back and really didn't have the time to prep for that today. So we'll be sharing it next week. For those of you guys that I saw there, that I met there, it was awesome seeing you guys. There's a handful of you, went to dinner, got to hang out, and I love being able to do that at live events. So if you go to another event, you see that I'm there, please come up and say hi. Some people are like, yo, I saw you at this event. And I'm like, but why didn't you say hi? Why didn't you say hello? Why didn't you introduce yourself? They're like, oh, I didn't want to bother you or whatever. Guys know that that's not bothering me. I love hanging out with you guys. And if we can, we'd love to, to go to lunch with you or go to dinner with you, have a drink, whatever. That's awesome for me. That's a whole lot of fun getting to know and to meet you guys live. So for those of you guys that missed out on Funnel Hacking Live, I would highly recommend that you guys pick up the notes. So you guys can grab the notes for the Funnel Hacking Live. They're in pre-sale right now. They're 50% off. Last I looked, I think they were $37. So digitaltriggers.io/FHL. And Usman, if you could just throw that link in the chat for everybody, man, that would be awesome. I'd appreciate that. I'm sure everybody would. So here's the deal. Like, it's uber important to surround yourself with people that are doing better than you, people that are doing different things than you, right? People to expand your mindset. And so I try to go to events. And I found that over the last, 6, 8, 9 months or so, I haven't been to a lot of events. So I went last minute, like booked my flight, booked Usman's flight, booked our hotel, right? Like last minute, just packed up and freaking took off for the event. And it was great because I got to surround myself with people doing awesome things. And I walked away with a big kick in the pants, a little kick in the ass, so to speak. And I walked away with a bunch of ideas on taking digital triggers to the next level. So when I miss these events and I can't make the commitment to go to them, I mean, we all understand, right? Life is crazy. We all have a lot going on. I always recommend that you find somebody's notes, or you share notes with somebody, or if you know somebody that goes, call them up and ask them how it went and what their takeaways were. And I know that this week already I've had 4 or 5 conversations with people talking about my takeaways from the event. So definitely do that. If you don't know somebody that went, you're lucky with Funnel Hacking Live. There's a gentleman named Tim Castleman that runs notes, and he does notes. He takes a team of people to go to the event. They take notes. They put them together into a product, and then instead of paying $1,000 to go to the event, $1,000, right, per person, right, without paying for airfare, right, and all the tickets and all the dinners and everything else, right, it's easily a couple $1,000 a person, $3-4 grand a person. You guys can grab the notes for literally $37, I think I saw was the last price. So even when I don't go, I pick up the notes from Tim because they're awesome, and they definitely give me a couple of ideas, and that's all we need, guys, a couple of ideas to literally spark us to the next level. So if you haven't grabbed the notes yet, I would highly recommend you grab the notes. If you grabbed the notes already, I know a bunch of you guys did, give me a 2 in the chat, and if you haven't yet, give me a 1. I'm just curious because I saw a ton of you guys grab the notes from the last AMA session. Grab a sip of water here. Okay, John, you got him, cool. Oh, John did not yet, okay. Yeah, so definitely highly recommend you guys grab the notes. Let's take a look, actually. What's the price now? Pull up my browser. So somebody was like, their response to me when I talked about this last week when I was actually in Nashville. They're like, Joe, but you don't even use ClickFunnels. Like, why are you at the event? I don't get it. And that doesn't mean just because I don't use ClickFunnels, right, that I don't see value in what they have to offer, right, or that I don't see value in what it is that they're doing. And I don't see value in the training. That's not it at all, right? I got a ton of value out of being at the event. So, so this is the page. Let's see the price. See if it's still 37. I think it was $37. Yeah, $37. I'm sorry, you guys can't see that. Screen 3. Sorry, technical difficulties here. If you go to, I don't know why, there we go. Yeah, $37. Okay, so they're going to be going live, I believe, the beginning of next week, and they will be $67. I'm the only person besides Tim that has this backdoor link. So fortunately, I know Tim well. I've promoted the notes in the past, and I've actually won kind of like the most sales contest. So when I told Tim I wanted a backdoor link for the notes, he's like, all right, man, no problem. So definitely jump in and grab this. There's a ton of golden nuggets I'm sure that you guys will get, even if you're not using ClickFunnels, all right? And if you guys jump in, I'll be sharing some more of my notes as well once these get released. Okay. So just a little recommendation and a cheap one at that, right? $37, you can't beat it. All right, so next up, finishing up this house cleaning. Get my screens fixed again. All right, so finishing up the house cleaning, April 11th and 12th, we are having an event here, a mastermind event at the Digital Triggers headquarters. So we have officially, I just looked before we started the webinar, we have 7 spots left. So this is a very small, intimate type of group and mastermind session. I've run lots of events in the past where we've had 50, 60, 75, 100 people at the events. And frankly, this is the opposite of that. So this is an event where you're going to be in a room, a small room, in a small group at my office, literally working one-on-one on your business, right? So it's going to be your turn. You're going to stand in front of the room. You're going to talk about what you got, the challenges that you have, and we're going to actually work on your business. So we're going to take the time that we're in the room together. We're going to break it down all apart, right? And each person is going to have a block to focus solely on your business. So you'll be able to learn from everybody while they're giving you feedback and tips on what they think that you should do in your business. Obviously, I'll be included in that. And then you'll be able to see us break down all, those sessions in front of everybody else as well. So you'll be able to take away tips and tricks and feedback on your own business, but I'm sure that you'll take away a ton of golden nuggets from everybody else's sessions with us as well. So there are, again, only 7 spots left. It's $1,000 to come, all right? It's 2 days. We cover basically your food while you're here, and it's 2 days with me, with the Digital Triggers team, right, and with a small, very small, intimate group of your peers, right? So the only way that you guys can get in, if you want in, go ahead and just shoot us a text, all right? The phone number, Usman, if you could throw this in the chat too, man, that would be great, 561-475-2066. And when you text this number, you'll either be texting and talking with me, if it's after the webinar, or you'll be talking with Usman, who's our COO now here at Digital Triggers. Okay, so this isn't something where you're gonna get like outsourced to, Malaysia to answer your question, right? Or somewhere else, right? You're gonna be talking with somebody and we'll help you decide if it's the right decision for you. And if it is the right fit, obviously we'll help collect the $1,000 and then we'll get you all set up and give you all the details and dates and start times and recommendations for where to stay and things like that. All right, fantastic, good stuff. So today, what I wanted to do is kind of just do a quick and dirty open mic AMA with you guys today. So I have, as you guys know, every Wednesday, I have an hour from 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern scheduled with you guys to run an AMA, where the only goal of the AMA is just to provide value for each and every one of you guys on the call, right? There's no ulterior motive, it's just literally that. So what questions do you guys have? How can I help you? And if I see somebody, or if I see multiple people really asking the same question, chances are I'll kind of dive deep on that topic and try to give you guys kind of a soup to nuts little mini session on just that one topic. So without further ado, let's have you guys go ahead and actually start letting me know your questions in the chat. Okay, so let me know your questions in the chat. And based upon your guys' responses, okay, I'll take these questions and we're gonna start tackling them in the time that we have here today. Sound good? And if we have time, or you guys are typing in the questions, I can share maybe behind the scenes a little bit, some stuff that I'm working on. Some new projects, wink, wink. Some new opportunities, wink, wink. Come on, John. Come on, Eric. Scott. Come on, brother. George, Greg, JP, Jacob, Jamie, Jason, Jeff Nolenberg. What's up, man? John Gill, John R. Let me know your guys' questions in the chat. Ken, Miguel, Rodney. I'm going to call you guys out. Roger Matthews, Rutger. I'm going to keep calling you guys out. Sean, Steve, Steven, Tom, Tom B, Tom O, Willie. What's up, Willie? All right, here we go. Okay, great. So Chris Holrich. So Chris has a great question. Okay, so Chris is asking for a viable business. And he's saying he's tried, right, pay-per-call, right? He's tried this, he's tried that. So Chris, I believe in today's age, in today's market, in terms of agencies, that you need to be one vertical centric. Don't get me wrong, I built, scaled, and sold a 6-figure or 7-figure pay-per-call agency that wasn't just focused on one vertical, right? So it's still possible to do. But I believe right now in the actions that I'm taking in building my next agency and the vision and kind of the thought process that I'm taking, I can share with you based upon my feedback, Chris, and building multiple agencies in the past, right? So the thing that I'm doing now is I'm going very, very deep in one vertical, okay? So pick just one, okay? Then we're offering multiple services and offerings to that one vertical, okay? Simple enough, right? The hard part in this is not getting distracted when Susie is a referral and she comes to you and says, can you help me, Chris? And she's not in one of these verticals, right? You got to have the strength and you got to have the courage and you got to have the discipline to say no, right? I can't help you, okay? if I were you, I would have somebody else that you could refer business to that you knew could take care of Susie or whoever you get referred to you that doesn't fit with the niche in the market that you're going after, right? And ask them for a percentage of the revenue that that client makes, right? That's not, that's not a hard deal to swing, right? Hey, Mr. Agency Owner, can I get 20% for every deal I send your way? Can I get 10%, 15%, whatever? That's not hard. Okay, so we're just going to focus on one vertical. Okay, and then we're going to have to offer more than one service to the vertical, okay? And my goal is to be dominant in that vertical, okay? So by dominant, we're going to either offer, teach, or train on everything that the vertical needs in terms of marketing, right? I want to be their one-stop shop. Okay, will I do everything under the sun for them? No, but I can recommend or refer people out that can. Why? Why do I want to be the everything for that market? Why? Because when I hear them or when they think of marketing, I want them to think about my business and me. Give me a 2 if that makes sense, Chris. Okay, so with that, right, what are all the marketing services that we could offer, right? We could offer a reputation, right? What else? We could offer social media. We could offer retargeting. We could offer some tracking setup along with call tracking. Okay, we could offer Google ads. We could offer Bing ads. We could offer local SEO and Google Maps. That for me is always in one package though, guys, because one affects the other so closely. So I would never just sell Google Maps ranking and not local SEO because it's one and the same basically. Okay, what else, guys? What am I missing here? Let's get a little interactive here. What am I missing here? We don't have Facebook ads. We do have retargeting, but not for cold traffic. So Facebook ads for cold traffic, we'll say specifically. What else? What am I missing, guys? Email marketing. It's a good one. One that most people don't really think of in terms of like quote unquote local businesses too. Okay, now Scott says sales training. So this is what I would do, right? I would handle this part and training on this part if I were you, right? Yourself, right? Then you got other like related services / help that you can help them get, right? So this, okay, could be things like sales training. So you could go find a sales trainer for the space, right? That's really good. And you can make a simple agreement with him. Hey, I'll help train your list on how to do marketing services if you train my list on how to do sales training for that niche. Right, now you got a win-win. Does that make sense to everybody? Give me a 2 if that makes sense. Okay. Okay, what else you got? You got software. I mean, you're definitely going to need some type of CRM. Okay, so you could do the same thing. Find a very specific piece of software, a CRM that somebody else has built and that's being used heavily in that industry, and go partner with a software CRM company and do the same thing. Hey, I'd like to have you come on and do a couple trainings and a couple webinars for my list, and I'd like to do the same for you. I'd like to come on and I'd like to do some free training for your tribe, for your list on, and give them a couple options. Okay, notice, Frankie Allen says, hey, Joe Troyer, what's up, Frankie? Good to see you, man. Notice that I keep saying list. So, I mean, this can be a lot more. This can be like merchant accounts. This could be print companies, right? This could be suppliers, right? Like you could keep stretching this out further and further and further. The point that I was making is understand that I keep talking about this list. This list. I don't know how I just made a copy of this keynote presentation. some kind of shortcut, I guess, I don't know. I keep talking about this list. At the end of the day, how many of your agencies have built an email list, right? Or you stay in front of your customers, and when you send out an email or you hold a webinar, right, your list shows up. Give me a 1 if you've done that, and give me a 2 if you've not. Yeah, so I'm just getting 2s. Nobody's done it. Okay, almost nobody. Chris has done it. So I think that you should be building a list. And you should be thinking about building an agency business and a viable agency business. I think you should think about it how software companies think about their business, how info product marketers think about their business, right? You guys have heard, I'm sure if you've heard it once, you've heard it 1,000 times, that the money's in the list, right? Give me a 3 if you guys have all heard that 1,000,000 times, right? The money is in the list. It costs the most amount of money, time, and effort to acquire the customer the first time, right? Then you just keep marketing to them. How many of you guys want me to give you guys a schedule in an easy way that within an hour of work a month, you guys could stay in front of a niche, right? You could be mailing that list, emailing that list nonstop, and you could stay in front of them everywhere. Yeah, you guys want that? Multi-touch point is critical? There is. Let's talk about that too. You guys want me to do a map on this? You guys want me to map this out right in front of you guys? I will. If that's like the hot topic and that's where this webinar goes, that's where this webinar goes. Want me to map out a 7-figure business in front of you guys? This is where I'm going in my next business, so that's why I can talk about this. I spent a lot of time thinking about this. Okay, so we've talked about being in one niche. So somebody just give me a random niche. This isn't the niche, obviously, that I'm going to go in, but let's solidify a niche right here, right now, just for the sake of example, all right? Give me a niche. Scott Lindsay says realtor. All right, realtor it is. Okay, would I necessarily go after realtors? Probably not, but that's fine. For the sake of example, that's fine. So our market is realtors. Okay, so we're going to offer, teach, or train on everything marketing. So what does that mean? We're going to have some offers that we're only going to train on. We're not going to do it for them. So we're going to have some done for you, and we'll have some done with you, right? And we'll have some completely done, and others will refer to other people. Crystal clear? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to come up with what our offers would be. Okay, and guys, these are our offers. Okay, if I'm going to do Google ads at the same time, I'm going to do Bing ads. I wouldn't charge for that separately. Okay, and again, for me, guys, in this business model, for me, it's all about building the list fast. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to clean this up a little bit. All right. So for me, it's all about building a list fast. Okay, so how do I go into the realtor market and how do I build a list fast? Okay, for me to do that, I'm going to need to give away some crazy, undeniable offers, right? And that's how I'm going to build my list really quickly. So real life example, folks. Okay. How many of you guys bought Sendwire? Give me a 4 in the chat. I think we're up to the number 4. Give me a number 4 in the chat if you bought the Sendwire offer at some point. Give me a 4 in the chat. And then if you gave me a 4, tell me why you bought it. Tell me why you bought it. For those of you guys that bought, why did you buy it? So for most of you guys, for a lot of you guys, not all of you guys, we got some OGs on the call. That was the first time that you guys got introduced to me. Okay, so why did you guys buy it? You didn't know me, right? You didn't know me from Adam, right? Why did you guys put your trust on me, and what made you pull the trigger? Give me some feedback in the chat. I want this to be interactive. I want you guys to think about this. Greg Stillman said, badass offer. So that is it. Okay, so the way that we're going to swallow up the market of realtors and how we're going to get traction fast is we're going to make badass offers, as Greg Stillman would say, right? I would say, like, my word would be like undeniable offers, or an offer that seems too good to be true, right? That's what we want to do. So what I would do is I would, okay, come up with offers, right? And I'd come up with a couple of them that are too good to be true, so to speak, that are badass, and that take me very little time to fulfill on. Okay, so I have criteria for this that I've built in my business. So when somebody on my team says, Joe, let's offer this, I say, does it match that criteria? No, it doesn't. Shit. Joe, I got the best idea ever. Does it match that criteria? No, it doesn't. Joe, I got the best idea ever. Does it match that criteria? Yeah, actually, we made it match the criteria. Fantastic, right? Like, I want those ideas all day. So for me, we have to be able to fulfill in under a half an hour on whatever it is that we're offering. The value has to be at minimum worth, at minimum for us internally, it's a little high, but at minimum worth $500 one-time minimum. Okay, that is what it has to be. And it has to feel like it's a no-brainer offer, okay? If we can get some context built around that and it meets that criteria, we'll take the next steps. For us then, the next steps is really fleshing out what you get, right? So what are the bullet points? What are the things that they're gonna get inside this package? And we're gonna make it crystal clear, okay? So we'll go look at sales pages for other competing offers in the industry, right? Whether it's, you know, in the realtor industry or in other industries, and we'll see what people could buy social media for, what people could buy reputation for, what people could buy email marketing for, and we'll compare that against our offer. And we will make a no-brainer offer where we will give away reputation or social media or email marketing or retargeting, or, right? It could be any of the things on the screen. We will give away a package of that and make a badass offer. Everybody following me so far? Please give me some feedback in the chat. Give me a 1, give me an explanation point, give me a hell yes, give me something. Okay, Eric says brilliant. Okay, so we could take it and we could do it on reputation, for example. We could say you're gonna get not complete reputation suite with everything, right? You get a piece of it, and other people charge, you know, $1,000 or $2,000 to get this. We're gonna give it to you for free, okay? We always like to have the option to be able to upgrade somebody more stuff, right? So if they come in, they use it, they love it, and there's some more features that we can unlock and we can give it to them, right? We can sell it to them at a price that's reasonable, that they will love, that they will appreciate, but that also helps us pay for our cost of goods, right? That helps offset any onboarding, any training, any salespeople, etc. We good with that? Give me a 3 if that makes sense. Okay, and again, half an hour or less fulfillment time. Has to be. If you go more than that, you're gonna be upside down, because I'm gonna teach you guys how to sell this shit fast, right? You're giving it away, okay? And if you have to, you know, if your fulfillment time is an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, and you're giving it away for free, trust me, you will end up, you know, screwed. You'll get 30 people in your first week that say yes, and you basically just built yourself a full-time job not getting paid for the next month. Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna create an offer that's free. And if I were you, I would create 3 to 4 of these. And I'm just saying free on all of these. These first 4 as an example. Okay, so let's say that we built a package around reputation. Okay, that was free. Okay, again, the value needs to be at least 500 to 1,000 bucks. Okay, obviously, the more, the better. The stronger the offer is, okay? But I also want to have room to upsell something. And ideally, it's just more features. Okay, so I don't have to convince them to, once they're in reputation and they said yes to me on a free offer, I don't have to convince them that social media is important. I don't want to do that pitch, right? I don't want to convince them that they should be spending $5,000 a month on Google Ads and come buy Google Ads management from me, right? I just want a little bit of room right away to make an upsell where I can just give them some more features on what they already bought. Give me a 4 if that makes sense. Not a new sell and not a cross sell and upsell truly. It needs to be an upsell truly. Again, not a cross sell and not an upsell, or not a cross sell. It needs to be an upsell. Okay, it needs to be like an upgrade. Frankie says, totally get this. Carolyn says 4. Fantastic. Good stuff. Okay. So we're going to do this. Okay, and we're going to come up with 4 of these. Okay, so let's say that these are my 4. Okay, for every one of these, we need to have what I would call a trigger. Okay, and what I mean by trigger is something that we can use in our marketing to find these people, right? Some type of issue that they have. So when we reach out to them, we can say, hey, Mr. Prospect, I noticed this, and I can give you this to solve it. Right, so hey, Mr. Prospect, I noticed you have this problem, and I'd like to help you solve it for free with your free offer. Okay, so what could a trigger be or a problem be, right, that this solves? Bad reviews, yep. What else? What could another trigger be? Frankie, great job. I can tell you're paying attention, homie. What else? They don't have the 5 stars. Yeah, so there's no, I'm going to say no 5-star map snippet. Okay, what else? Yeah, they have, let's say they have like 10 or less reviews. Then we could say like, dude, you just don't have many reviews. You need to get some more reviews. Here's why, right? Show them some kind of case study and then say, take me up on my offer. Is everyone following along? Okay, please give me a 1 if you're following along. We're all on the same page and we'll keep taking it down the road here. We'll keep kicking the ball down the field. Okay, hoo-ah. All right, so then we're gonna do this with social media. Okay, so again, I want room. So I'm not gonna say like, I'll do your social media forever for free. No, but I could say something like, I will do your social media. I'll do, 3 posts per day for 90 days for free. So I think that 90 days is a good number. 30 days is like, is it even worth me talking to you, right? Because then it's like, what's gonna happen after the 30 days? And we gotta have this awkward conversation, right? So like, I want it kind of out of sight, out of mind with something like social media, right? So I would say for 90 days, we'll do it for free. So again, the beautiful thing here, guys, is if we're going into one market, if we're going into realtors, how much customization do you think that we need to do on the social media posts? How much customization do you think we need to do? So if we sell a realtor in West Palm and we sell one in Miami, how much customization do you think we need to do? Eric says not a lot. Guys, how much customization do you think we need to do? We need to change out the name, right? We need to change out, the office or whoever, they're working through, right? But all of that stuff is like as simple as a find and replace, right? Could that be done in 30 minutes or less? Could that be done in 30 minutes or less? Yes or no? Yeah, 100%. Could that be done in 30 minutes or less? And you could automate the dripping out for 90 days using something like Buffer, right? Or one of the other social media syndication softwares. Totally, 100%. Okay, so this could easily be done. Okay, so what's the trigger? What's the trigger? What's the trigger that we're gonna look for? Meaning, what are how do we know that this person is right for us to go pitch? What's the trigger? What's a trigger for us to identify that this person needs our help with social media posts? Yeah, no recent posts. Okay, you could do something in terms of a criteria like less than X amount of posts in X amount of time, right? If they're not averaging 2 posts a day, it's a perfect fit, right? Then you show them a case study that you found talking about it's important to post over 2 times a day. There we go. Free social media for 90 days makes a great entrance point. Okay, I mean, a complete lack of social media, like no social media, like no profiles is another great one. Okay, so now we got 3 triggers, right, for social media. Okay, and we could do the same, if I can spell, we could do the same with email marketing, and we could do the same with retargeting. Okay, so how could we do this with email? The trigger would be simple, like, do they have an email list? Right? Another trigger could be like, is there an opt-in on their site? Okay, so there's 2, and we could come up with more, but let's just go fast through these so that I can give you guys a real life example of each of these, all right? So what would the trigger be for retargeting? What could a trigger be for a retargeting service that we're gonna offer for free? Yeah, no pixel on the page. No retargeting pixel. Okay, so we could even divide this up. So we could say no Google retargeting pixel. The second thing that we could look for is no Facebook retargeting pixel. Right? So there's 2 things that we could do right away. Okay, we could also do some type of search for call that's retargeting only. Right? So let's just, those 2 are good. Okay, so if we build out 4 offers like this, and you guys really flesh them out, they're all easily worth $500 to $1,000, no questions asked. You guys will be able to give them away for free easily. Give me a 3 if you're like, holy shit, like this is amazing. And you guys can see how you could build like just a freaking huge ass list of raving customers, right? Using this. I mean, absolutely raving. Everybody would freaking love you. If I gave you guys all free reputation for your business, if I gave you guys all free social media for 90 days, right? If I gave you guys all, right? If we turn the tables and I act like you're the customer, you're the realtor, right? If I gave you email marketing for free for 90 days, right? If I gave you retargeting free, right? Do you guys think that I would be able to build a massive, massive email list of customers and prospects that freaking are rabid fans? Yes or no in the chat? Let me know. Man, I only got a handful of yeses. There we go. Okay. All right. Now they're coming. Okay. All right. Yes, yes. Frick yeah. Yes, yes. Yeah. 333. Okay. Yep. All right. So we could definitely do that. So basically, I would come up with a handful of free marketing services, right? Then I'd come up with upsells for each free marketing service. Okay, and again, my goal is just to help break even on my costs, okay, between sales and fulfillment, right? So it's the same goal as like having a tripwire, right? It's the reason that people sell $10 offers or $20 offers or $30 offers, right? And then, right, because then they get you to ascend into a higher level package, right? And they're able to pay for their marketing costs. Okay, so that is the point here as well. Okay, so the goal here is for me to be able to sell something in the neighborhood of $500 to $1,000 on that upsell. Okay, so I offer them reputation for free. I get them in, I get them using it, I get them loving it, right? They're getting results, and now I give them an opportunity to unlock some more features, okay? And again, I stick with reputation. I'm not going to skip, right? I'm not going to go cross-sell into social media right away. I'm going to give them more of what they already agreed to. Guys, the easiest upsell, bar none, is to sell people more of what they already have. That will out-convert everything else every single fucking time. Okay? So we're going to make that upsell, and then we're going to have our true paid recurring offers. So free marketing offers. Then we're going to have upsells for the free marketing offers. And then we're going to have truly like paid recurring offers. And guys, this is where we're going to make our money. Okay? This is where we're going to make our money. Okay, so in here, we should have, each of these should be worth at minimum $1,000 a month recurring for each service at minimum that goes into our pocket. Okay, what I'm not talking about is gross, and then you pay for ad spend. So in this example, $1,000 a month for me to manage the account and for me to pay $750 in ad spend. That's bullshit. You don't make any money there, right? That should be obvious, but I see people selling pay-per-click all the freaking time, and they're not making any money, right? When you don't make any money, how much time are you going to spend working on it, right? So every day you're inside this account, or you tell somebody you're going to be, and yet you're only making $250 a month. You spend an hour in there every day, and you're making $250 a month in a management fee, right? Like, tell me that you're going to do an awesome job for them, right? Because my assumption is you're going to do a shit job, right? You got to be paid. You got to be incentivized for results. Okay. So this one is probably more, this tracking and call tracking is probably more like an upsell, right? Not so much one of these paid recurring offers, right? That probably goes in like one of the upsells. So I'm just going to move that up there. So then this one is definitely meets the criteria. So Google Ads and Bing Ads, $1,000 a month recurring minimum. This can definitely, local SEO and Google Maps can definitely be that. And your cost of goods are going to be very low. You're going to net, $900 a month, probably $800 a month. Maybe not month one, but moving on from month one. And then the same for Facebook ads. You can definitely get in, right, the minimum criteria. Okay. So now the question becomes, how do we sell at scale the paid recurring offers once we have a list of rabid buyers, right, that came in from these free marketing offers? You guys want to know how to sell this at scale? Trust me, I've learned a lot of lessons from onboarding and selling one-on-one lots and lots of local businesses. I have a bit of a different take on it than I used to, and I have a different outlook. I have a different way that I'm going to be attacking it inside of my new agency. Yeah, webinars. Webinars and email marketing. Okay, so first is email marketing. So whenever somebody buys any of the free products, so as soon as they buy a free product, they're going to get put on an indoctrination sequence. Okay, that indoctrination sequence is kind of two parts. Okay, the first part is essentially more onboarding and tips for the product they just bought, is part number one, or that they got for free. Okay, the second part is all about us building our relationship and bond with the customer. Okay, so this could be, let's call it 3 or 4 emails over the first week, and this could be 3 or 4 emails over the first week. Okay, so we're going to over deliver like a mofo. We're going to make sure that we get them to double opt in. We're going to, we're going to incentivize them to double opt in and give them something else, right? We're just going to blow the doors off of our relationship from step number 1. Okay, so then once a month, we're going to hold a webinar. On one topic. So the primary topics here, guys, are going to be on one of the paid offers. Okay? Why? Because that's where we make our money. Okay, so these would be the webinars. Okay, so month number 1, we have a webinar on Google Ads and Bing Ads. Okay, we talk about best practices, we talk about case studies. As we start to get more and more case studies from our customers, we start talking about negative keyword lists, we start talking about any jargon or any updates that happen, right? We add in, right? So let's say that Google AdWords, right, phases out, and now they're Google Ads. We're obviously going to talk about that the next time that we hold a webinar about Google Ads and Bing Ads. Okay, month 2 then. For example, we'd roll into local SEO and Google Maps for specifically, right, for realtors. Okay, month number 3, we talk about Facebook ads with cold traffic, right, for realtors. Everybody following me, give me a 3, please. Okay, you guys ready for this thing to get nasty? This thing's about to get ridiculous. This is about to get ridiculous. This is about to get ridiculous. Okay, so the content formula for the webinar, guys, is really simple. Okay, so it's essentially best practices that you advertise as secrets. So I'm going to put them in quotes, right? Or misconceptions, right? So we just had a webinar about pay-per-call, right? And frankly, everybody's selling pay-per-call ass backwards, and every time they do it, they screw themselves. Every time they make a sale using the pitch that everybody's using, right? So it's a best practice, or it's a should be best practice, and here's why, right? So you frame those out as secrets. Does that make sense? Give me a 4 if that makes sense. So you're going to take a list of the best practices or should be best practices, and on that webinar, you're going to give the best practices, right? So you're going to have a headline for the webinar, right? And it's going to be essentially something like this: everything you need to know about everything you need to know about Facebook advertising for realtors. Everything you need to know about Google Ads for realtors, right? Or it could be something like a case study, right? And it could be right, case study, 347 inbound leads from Google Ads this month. Make sense? Do those titles make sense to you guys? Okay, so after you got the title, the next thing that you got to figure out in a webinar is the secrets part. So we kind of did this out of order. So title, and back this one out. Okay, then secrets. Okay, so the secrets is what you did that got this result, right? Or that backs up this claim. So the secrets then, you're going to give basically in order, right? And so you could have, 4, I would say probably minimum secrets is probably what you need to have at minimum. My text is too big, I guess. Keynote's like, Troyer, calm down. No more content on this slide. And again, I would refer to them as secrets. So let's role play through one of these. Let's say that we are doing it on Google Ads. Okay, we could do something like case study, 5 new leads per day from Google Ads, right? If we wanted to make this even sexier, excuse me, I just burped right into the microphone. We could make this a little sexier. So we could say case study. So we could say like this claim without the problem, right? So we could say, okay, what's everybody's big misconception about Google Ads? Give me some feedback in the chat. We'll make this a little more role play-ish. And man, we only got 9 minutes. Man, this went fast. So Chris is saying, do you find that this works well with regular people versus internet marketers? Yes, this is how I'm building my next agency, Chris. Like quite exactly. Price, exactly. So, example, case study, 5 new leads per day from Google Ads without breaking the bank. There we go. That's a great title, right? That's very compelling. Okay, then what we do is we back it up by our secrets. Let's fix this slide. Email marketing and webinars. All right, so. Okay, so we give them our secrets, and this is the outline for the webinar, guys, right? Then we go into booking a strategy session at the end of this call. So the strategy session, basically, I see a lot of people kind of pitch strategy sessions wrong. It's like basically like let's create a roadmap for 2000, right? Whatever the current year is, 2019. Marketing in your company is the strategy session, and we say basically if we both think there's an opportunity to work together, great. If not, we'd be happy to refer you to a few other marketing agencies. Right, so this last part, right, takes the pressure off. It's like, well, I have an out. If I don't like this guy, right, after we do the strategy session, I don't have to do business with me. He already told me that he'd introduce me to somebody else. But here's the psychology, right? If I help create a roadmap for you for 2019 in your company, and I lay it out from step 1 to step 10 on how you're gonna double your business or triple your business, right? And I lay out that roadmap and we create that together, right? And I'm getting you to buy into each and every piece of that roadmap. What are the chances that you're gonna say no at the end when I'm like, I can help you do this, right? The chances are low. You've already bought in. Right? Like you helped build the roadmap. Now you're going to tell me no? Give me a 3 if that makes sense. A lot of people do these strategy sessions at the end and they're like, yeah, book a strategy session and we'll talk about, you know, SEO for the next 2 hours. Like they don't want to talk about that. Right? So this is a much better way, I believe, to pitch a strategy session. Okay? Let's create a roadmap for 2019 for your company. That's giving them value. Their roadmap probably sucks, right? If they even have a roadmap for their marketing, right? And by building that roadmap out with them, you're getting them uber invested on everything that you guys are talking about. They're buying into what you're saying. And then at the end, you're just simply giving them an opportunity to help them with pieces in the roadmap, right? So the pieces would be things like this. Google ads and Bing ads, local SEO and Google Maps, Facebook ads for cold traffic. And it could very well be staggered, guys. It could be month 1 to month 3, right? We're going to engage with you immediately to start on Google ads and Bing ads, right? Paid traffic. And then starting in month 3 or month 4, we're also going to kick off another engagement with you at another $1,000 a month to start doing local SEO and Google Maps, right? 3 months after that, right, we're going to start doing Facebook ads for cold traffic for another $1,000 with you. So now 9 months in, you're at $3,000 a month recurring. Okay, somebody falls off the bandwagon, right? They cancel services with you and then they jump back on your 3rd webinar, your 4th webinar, and you pitch another strategy session, they show back up. All that you do is resell the vision, right? Where did you leave off? All right, great. Well, that's where we need to start. So Chris Ulrich, does this help you, brother? Could you possibly see how this could fail? Eric says, you're a beast, Joe. Thanks, man. Makes sense. So as long as you build a list of rabid fans, and as long as you make them good offers, you'll always have a business. I don't care what niche you're in. Right? So you got to build that rabid fan base, right? And then you just got to make them good offers that they can't say no to. As long as you do that, you will always have a great business. Always. So what happens, folks? What happens after we run all the webinars, right? So we're at the end of month 3. We just ran our 3rd webinar. What happens? What happens? What do we do? Rinse and repeat, guys. We just start this thing all over again. We just start it all over again. Scott says evergreen it. I wouldn't evergreen it. Here's why. These things change. So how do you stay relevant? How does it stay interesting? If you evergreen this webinar and you're running it through some type of evergreen webinar platform, this webinar is going to get old and stale, right? Why not just run and make the commitment to run 1 webinar a month and make the commitment to change the 10% that needs updated? Add in a new, better case study. Add in a new, better result. Talk about the latest feature that they just added. So then you're always top of mind. Somebody comes to your Google Ads or Bing Ads webinar one time, right? And then they come back the next quarter. They're going to get more value out of it the next quarter because it's updated. Okay, so I'm just repeating the cycle. I'm just repeating the cycle. Okay, so I start back over again. Okay, so month 4 would be month 1, right? And I'm just updating the content inside of it. And again, it's not a complete start over from scratch. It's just an overhaul. It's what's the 10% or what's the 5% that's changed that I can make better? You know, what did I do last time that wasn't very clear? What are the mistakes that I made last time? And it's going to give me an opportunity as well to change my pitch, to up my pitch, to make the content better, to say less times, to say less times, to not sound like an idiot at the 33-minute part when I did a transition from the content to the pitch, right? Like, it's never going to be perfect, but be in that state of always being better. Okay. Now, I'm going to teach you how to turn this thing nutso. I'm going to teach you guys how to scale the shit out of this. You guys ready? You guys got 10 more minutes that you guys can spend with me? Technically, we're going to go 10 minutes over the time. We're going to go 10 minutes over the time. If you guys are good with that, let me know in the chat. If not, we'll shut her down. You ready? All right, so here's some things that we're doing and that we are planning and executing. We're building systems and processes around to really take things to the next level. And I'll try to give you guys some examples when I can here, but what are we going to call this for now? A few more keys to scale. So guys, one of the things that I found is that perception is huge. How many of you guys have found it hard to scale a client's perception of you? Right? You meet with a client one time and they love you, and it's like you're God's greatest thing to earth, right? You're God's greatest gift to mankind, right? The next person you meet with thinks like you're stupider than a box of rocks, right? Like there's no consistency. There's no consistency. So one of the things that I've been really thinking about is how do we do this at scale? How do we build, right, that know, like, and trust? Well, we do that by giving them that free offer, but what else can we do? Right? How do we get them to buy into our bigger ticket projects and processes? How do we get them to go from spending nothing to spending $5,000 a month with us? Like, what do we need that customer thinking about in order for that to happen? Right? Where do they need to be at mentally? What do they need to see in order to take that leap? Okay. Show them value, believe in the process, definitely. I think that that's definitely key. We're going to show them value right away, right? But that doesn't mean that they're going to be ready to jump from free to $5,000 a month. Real results, Scott says. So at the end of the day, guys, like you guys know me, I'm all about showing results and crazy freaking results. But what beats like a marketer's results to a local business owner, to a realtor, or whatever niche you're getting into, is seeing other people in the space kill it. Right? That's much more relevant to them. A realtor seeing other realtors have success is a completely different story and way better than an agency showing them a case study. Give me a 4 if that makes sense, right? It means a whole lot more coming from a friend, a peer, a competitor, right? In the space, a realtor, right? Than coming from an agency owner or agency sales rep talking about a case study. So I want you guys to think for a second about how you manufacture that. And I don't say manufacture in a bad way, but how do we do that in our agency? How do we do that in our agency? How do we see them people having success? How do we see our prospects, our customers relating to people or saying, shit, man, I want to grow my company like that realtor did? Right? I want to strive for that level, right? They sold 30 homes last year. I want to hit 30 homes, right? They sold 10. I want to hit 10. I'm only at 2, right? How do we get them to strive for the next level? Okay, so by all means, you know, interviews are good, but it's hard to get interviews, right? It's hard to get video testimonials. Like, can you get them? Yes. Should you get them? Yes. But it's also a lot, guys, just about perception. Okay, so if I get one of my clients to come on and say, like, this is the results that I got for that customer, like, that's great. But do you guys know how hard it is to get somebody to say what you want them to say? Right? Like, I need you to say this. And then you go to record them and they say the opposite. Right? They're like, you know, Joe helped me so much in my business. It was great. You should do it. And that's probably better than most of their videos. Okay, so this is what we're doing. There's also no real reason for them to do that for you, even if you've helped them, right? They don't see anything in it for themselves. So what we're doing is we're running a podcast in the niche, okay? And we're interviewing experts from the niche, okay? So we can get somebody on, and the title of the podcast can be how Marcy went from 3 homes a year to 50. Right? Now, guess what? When I'm emailing my customers, when I'm not running a webinar, I can promote this podcast, right? And I can talk about how Marcy went from selling 3 homes a year to 50. And that person raises their hand and goes, yeah, I want to be like Marcy. Do you think that that is a good thing for your brand or a bad thing? You could be tied to that person's success even if you didn't do the marketing for that person. Are you guys getting that connection? And there's something now in it for Marcy. She gets to come to an audience and speak, right? She gets to show her peers what's going on, right? She's got bragging rights versus her just recording a testimonial for you. There's nothing in it for her to record a testimonial for you. Does this make sense? Give me a 3 if this makes sense, if this is an aha moment, right? Imagine the difference in your marketing if once a month you dropped out a podcast, just once a month, with an expert in the niche that you chose to go after. In this example, realtors, talking about how they blew up in the last 1 to 3 years, how they blew up their company. Do you think that that would help your marketing? Yeah, without a fucking doubt, right? So the second way that we amplify, the second way that we are really, really crushing it with this is, guys, we got to be omnipresent. The days of email only are dead, right? Like if you have an audience, right, and you're building the audience, you're staying in front of the audience, you can't just be email. I don't care how good you are, right? I really don't care. You need to be in omni-channel. You need to be everywhere. You need to be top of mind, aware at all times to your prospects, all times. Okay, I'm sure that you guys have seen this from me over the past 2 to 3 months, okay, that you can't go to YouTube without seeing my face, right? You can't go on certain sites without seeing my face on Google Display Network or seeing the Digital Triggers logo, right? You can't go into Gmail and not see an ad, right, with my company on it, with my face on it. I am freaking everywhere, okay? Guys, it's all retargeting. Do you know how much that costs? Like pennies, right? I pay when you see an ad. Or better yet, get this. Better yet, get this. If I run a CPC, right, as the type of bidding, a cost per click campaign, right, I only have to pay for it when you see it. So I'm getting free branding all day, every day. You can't get me out of your head, right? And I'm only paying when you click on an ad. So all that's free branding and exposure the 99% of the time that you don't click on the ad. All that you see is me, Joe Troyer, and the Digital Triggers logo in your freaking face. Okay, so you should be everywhere, right? You should be everywhere. And by everywhere, I mean Google Display Network, right? Which accounts for like 90% of the traffic on the internet, right? You should be on Facebook. You should be on YouTube. You should be in Gmail, okay? And for those of you guys that don't know, you can control YouTube, Gmail, and GDN. Let's do it like this. So this Facebook, I'd recommend doing inside of Facebook, right? Instagram, you can do right inside of Facebook. For retargeting, I'd do that just for simplicity. Google Display Network, YouTube, and Gmail, this can all be done right inside of Google Ads. Okay, so one platform, you get all of this. Okay, and if you set it up on a CPC basis, you're only paying when somebody clicks. Okay, we just ran the mastermind open. How many of you guys saw that at some place somewhere? I keep hitting my filter on my mic. Give me a 1 if you saw that promotion. We're about to shut it down this week, but how many of you guys saw that? Give me a 1 in the chat real quick. If I can get at least 90% of you guys to give me a 1 in the chat, I'll share with you guys a crazy case study on why this is just fucking critical to scale. You gotta be omnipresent. And if I can get at least 90% of you guys to give me a 1, I'll share a crazy case study with you that nobody's seen on just that webinar. All right, you guys did it. You guys got the case study. So just the YouTube ads alone, I was going all out blitz in preparation for that webinar, for the Mastermind Open. So guys, this is my very first attempt at running retargeting on YouTube for webinars specifically, and it worked. I was going for volume and lots of volume. Because of that, my costs were a little higher than they could have been. I could have toned it down, probably chopped the cost per click in half, but that wasn't the goal. The goal was volume. So you guys can see here, we had the go-to webinar. This is like day one on the left, a little screenshot of part of day one and a screenshot of part of day two. See how often you guys see YouTube there? Check that out. Give me a 2. You think this YouTube ad stuff works? I don't care what niche, what vertical you're in, you need to be running YouTube ads. If you aren't, you guys are freaking losing the boat. I don't care if you're doing personal branding. I don't care if you're doing e-com. I don't care if you guys run your own agency. You sell an info product. It doesn't matter. You need to be here. Okay. So I was getting 50-cent clicks. 50% of people opted in. So I was getting dollar registrations, specifically targeting you guys, right? It was retargeting only, not cold traffic, right? So dollar opt-ins for a webinar registration, we ended up pulling in over 200 registrations alone from YouTube. Okay, over 200 registrations from YouTube. Okay, so that was great. And I'll break down the math for you, share with you guys kind of what that means for me. It's a little weird. I'm sharing this case study with you guys so directly, and this is who I was advertising to. So forgive me if I stumble a little bit. It's kind of an awkward situation, right? Give me a 3, right? Because you guys saw that ad. So it's a little strange. And I share this with you guys not to brag, but I want you guys to go run with this, and it's so relevant to what we were just talking about, okay? So webinar attendance is down, and this feeds right into being omnipresent, right? It is harder and harder and harder all the time, guys. I don't care how good you are with your audience. It's getting harder and harder to get people to show up for webinars, okay? I got a lot of free branding with those YouTube videos. I got a lot of registrations. Trust me, I made a lot of money on the $1 webinar registrations. But what I didn't expect was for my show up rate to more than double, okay? So I took 16 random webinar sessions over the last 12 months, right? And so there's 16 sessions here. You can see we ran 85 webinars in the last 12 months. And you guys can see the registrants and attendees. So check this out, 15% attendance rate. You guys see that? Right? 15%. For me, guys, that sucks, right? I'm used to averaging over the years, right? 30, 35%, 25% being like a bad webinar, okay? The struggle is real, right? You need to be omnipresent, okay? So me running those YouTube ads, I got a lot of registrations, but what I didn't expect is look at my attendance rate, 43% attendance rate, right? Like this is what's crazy, right? 43% attendance rate. That's unheard of. That is absolutely unheard of. Okay, so this is a big testament to being omnipresent, guys. I made my money back on this campaign many, 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 many times over. You guys want to see one more little more piece of data? I hope you guys are digging this shit. Nobody's talking about this stuff. I can share one more little piece with you guys. One more little piece. Give me a 1 if you promise not to share this stuff publicly. At least my numbers. Please don't share my numbers publicly. All right, one more piece. One more piece. So this is the math. Okay, we had a 50% registration rate for the webinar. We had a 43% attendance rate, and we had a roughly 20% conversion rate on the webinar. Okay, so essentially what that means is we got 25 clicks in order to get a sale. Okay, at 50 cents a click, we're paying $12.50 to get a sale of at least 999 bucks. Right, at least. You guys know the price point. I'm not hiding it, right? You guys have seen it. You watched the webinar. Check this out right here. 7,999 or 7,992% return on ad spend. That is nuts. And guys, this is just the tip of the iceberg. So what I want you guys thinking about, when we're talking about scaling, right? We're talking about being omnipresent, okay? When you're running that offer of the month, get it set up and run ads, right? During that time, the week you're doing the webinar and the replay, be omnipresent with that. Target your audience, stalk your audience, stay in front of them and blow it the fuck up like I did. If you are truly omnipresent, guys, you will freaking destroy it, okay? And you will get a nutso ROI just like I talked about, okay? But you gotta stay omnipresent, I believe, okay? Millennials are becoming the buyer's market. Millennials wanna see faces. They wanna get to know you. Get out from behind the camera, right? Show them your face, right? And if you can, that's how we are going, that and omnipresence is how I believe we're going to truly start destroying in 2019, 2020 and beyond these big brands, because these big brands, nobody's bonding with anymore, okay? You bond with them. That's what's gonna make the sale, right? And if you want one little piece of extra advice, right? Figure out a cause, figure out a charity, right? Millennials wanna do business with people that have a face, right? That they can know, like, and trust, right? That they can admire, but also they like companies that have a cause, right? You got two companies side by side, one has a cause, one doesn't. Which one are you going to build, right? Or which one are you going to invest in or do business with? If everything else is the same, right? The one that gives 10% back to X charity, the one that does this with their cause. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today. It's officially an hour and 15 minutes in. I gave you guys freaking everything, man. I gave you guys everything. So I'll take one or two quick questions. If something didn't sink in, let me know in the chat. And again, I would highly recommend, hopefully the link's in the chat, digitaltriggers.io/FHL. Go grab Funnel Hacking Live Notes, 37 bucks, folks. Like, I just gave you guys $37 worth of value for sure. Go parlay that into these notes and you will be freaking stoked. Let's see. Thanks a ton, Joe. Eric says you're very, very welcome. So we got a question here, like, what do we do then after? So guys, I would go give away my offers. Right, I go give away my offers with everything that I can, right? So we've personally crushed cold email, we've personally crushed cold calling, we've personally crushed voice drops, all to get customers in local niches, right? But once you get that figured out, right, and you start doing it, then guys, you can start running Google ads, right? Once you figure out how much you can pay to acquire a customer, once you have some of these things in place, right, then you can run Facebook ads, right? You can start stretching out even more, okay? But I would use whatever it is that you're comfortable with. For me, we crush cold email. If you guys are looking for a starting point, you're not very confident yet on the phone, I would recommend cold email for you guys. That's a great starting point too. Holy crap, man. Awesome as always. I appreciate that, Scott. Little question here. Let's see, little question here. I have a lot of water damage business owners in my social media accounts. I'd like to know if you think it's a good niche to go deep in. I would like to stay in a specific vertical. Yeah, I don't see any reason, Eric, not to do business in that niche. Eric, the only thing that I think you got to be careful of in that niche, just talking out loud, I've been in that niche pretty heavily, is, you know, there's certain parts of the United States that just don't get a lot of volume for the restoration/water damage niche. So that's the only thing, like, if you're kind of an outsider in that niche, that you should know and look into. Just a little tip there. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. You're the man. You're very welcome, JP. Thanks for bringing it strong today. You made my day. Willie, you're very, very welcome, brother. Good shit again. You're very welcome, Greg. I appreciate the compliment, brother. Thanks for the valuable presentation, fantastic info. What platform are you using to manage retargeting? Yeah, so what I recommend, whether you're doing retargeting for yourself or you're doing retargeting for clients or you got multiple of your own businesses, I suggest that you guys learn like some very basics of Google Tag Manager. And when you build a website, you put one piece of tracking code on your site, because then, and that's Google Tag Manager, right? That's like the one code to rule them all. Like then inside a Tag Manager, you can add more tracking codes in and say, I want you to fire this on this page or that page, or you can make rules then. So then you don't start seeing code all over the place. So like the Digital Triggers site, for example, it's a mess with tracking code, right? And I'm working on fixing it now. Some pages have different header and footer code, and it's in this plugin and that plugin, and here it's over here, and it's just a freaking mess. So I would recommend using Google Tag Manager. Install that one piece of code one time on the site. Then your developer just has to make sure that that one piece of code never gets overwritten instead of 40 pieces of code on your site. And then from Google Tag Manager, you drop the pixels for everything else: Facebook, Instagram, Google Display, YouTube, right? Really, all that's just Facebook and Google Ads. So you really only got to drop those. But do that through Google Tag Manager is how I recommend it. And then yeah, I'd recommend going direct to the platform to run the ads, not going through a bunch of other third parties to do it. Eric Dupree, God bless you for being so honest and for giving us so much value each time. You're very welcome, homie. Greg Stillman says, for cold email, quick mail or prospect rocket? So that's a good one. So for 3 years inside the mastermind, inside our paid programs, I recommended quick mail. And I still love quick mail. It's a great tool. I now officially have changed my recommendation to Prospect Rocket. So for me, the reason is they built in some keys for me that were, or some features in for me, specifically into Prospect Rocket, that made the automation that I do able to happen. So for me, cold email is very much about scale and automation. I have no interest in logging into an account every day or having my team log into an account every day and like look at who opens and then respond. And no, like I want to set up a cold email sequence that's like 7 steps long, and I'm going to dump people in at this rate. And once they're done, it's automatically going to take them off. And if they opt in or they schedule a consult or they schedule that roadmap session, they automatically come off. So I stop looking like an idiot. I don't mail them again saying, hey, why didn't you book the meeting, right? And so a bunch of features, basically David and his team built in after some time due to my requests. And so for that reason, for that one reason, I have moved. The other thing is we're able to do some really cool stuff because we use Lead Kahuna as our list building service. And I don't usually talk about this stuff publicly, usually keep it in the mastermind. So you guys are getting extra here. We use Lead Kahuna as our like bulk list building tool. We will then go to the market and find the gaps, right? So if we can't find an email or the email's invalid, right? When we try to send out a cold email to it, it bounces back, we'll go find it manually, okay? Just doing research, somebody on our team will. But Lead Kahuna does a great job of getting all that data in bulk, right? So we use it as our bulk tool. Okay, once we got results, we're getting a ton of customers, everything's working in the business, then we'll reinvest and we'll go get the rest of the market by finding their contact information manually, right? And there's all kinds of great tools to help you do that, but I just don't think it's worth doing that until kind of a couple steps down the line, if you will. So the other thing that's cool is if you use Prospect Rocket, Greg, or let's say it this way, if you're using Lead Kahuna, and you're using quick mail, you're not going to have access to do some crazy stuff. So what I recommend is you use Lead Kahuna and Prospect Rocket now as my official recommendation, because we can do some stuff that nobody else is doing. We can take an image, a screenshot of their Google My Business. That's their Google My Business, not just a random Google My Business. And we can overlay an image on top of it, and we can include that in the cold email that we send out. So talk about like your emails being crazy, like highly customized with all the tokens and fields that we get with Lead Kahuna. Now we can do that with images. I mean, it just takes things to like another mind-boggling level that makes it like questionable. Like, could this even really be cold email? Because it's so customized. So you guys just got like a ridiculous amount of insider tips there, and like years and years and years of testing and tweaking and critiquing. If you guys are interested in, picking up our done for you list building service, or picking up Lead Kahuna or Prospect Rocket, and you need a link to do so, we've secured discounts for each and every one of you guys. Just hit us up in the chat, and we can help you out there. I hope that's good stuff. Crazy. So the big thing, so Chris says, Prospect Rocket used it last year. Most ended up in spam because of flaws in their system. So, I mean, the thing is, Chris, is that Google sends the email. So it's not a spam, it's not really a problem in their email. So you got to make sure you're doing email verification. You got to make sure that the emails that you're reaching out to are real. And that'll just get rid of, the top 10%, 15% of the bad emails, and then you'll still have some bounce backs. It's not 100% accurate, right? So you got to make sure that you do that. You also got to make sure that you throttle up the accounts with ease, right? So I go through this stuff in depth inside of our mastermind. And if you guys want, keep hitting this thing. If you guys want, right, you jump in the mastermind, you get one-on-one coaching with me. Like, I'll walk you through it. Step 1, do this. Step 2, do this. And I'll take you step by step through it. Guys, we cold email every single day. Between backlink outreach, like outreaching to pitch sites to get backlinks, right, for guest posts and sponsored posts, and then also the other side, right, pitching into an actual vertical for our agency. Guys, we do this at scale. This isn't some like half-baked idea like, I wonder if it's gonna work. Like, we do this shit all day, every day. I wouldn't recommend something if it's not gonna work. Cool. So if you guys need a link for those, I don't have them offhand, but my team can definitely grab those for you. All right, fantastic. Everybody, I appreciate the last hour and a half of your guys' time. It's been freaking awesome. If you guys got a ton of value out of it, I mean, no shame pitch here. Guys, you guys can get one-on-one coaching with me for $299 a month if you join the mastermind. Crazy. I don't know anybody doing coaching at this level for under $1,000 an hour, let alone a month, right? Under $5 grand for an hour, right? And those are rates that I've charged many times, and I still charge if people aren't in the mastermind. Okay, so if you guys see the value that I bring and you guys are serious about growing your business, it should be a no-brainer to be jumping in there. Okay, but if it's not right time, right place, I understand. So have an awesome week. If you guys need anything, just reach out to support@digitaltriggers.io, or just go to the site, and down at the bottom right, you can hit up our little chat icon or chat bubble. Have a fantastic week. I'll talk to you guys soon. Sayonara.